Hello, everyone. I am your host, Ryan, and welcome back to Speak Up. Today, we're going to explore the magic behind smart vocabulary building. Have you ever wondered how some people seem to express themselves so effortlessly? It all starts with learning new words smartly. In this episode, we're going to uncover the secrets of vocabulary growth that not only boost your confidence, but also make communication feel natural. We believe that every new word you learn opens up a world of opportunities. So get ready to discover simple, practical methods for enriching your vocabulary and enhancing your English skills in everyday conversations.
Hi everyone, I'm Priya, and I'm thrilled to join Ryan on this language adventure on Speak Up. Expanding your vocabulary is one of the most rewarding aspects of learning English. Today we're discussing why it's essential to learn new words smartly and how doing so lays the foundation for more confident, effective communication. We'll share everyday tips that make vocabulary growth both fun and impactful. By the end of our chat, you'll see how integrating new words into your daily life can transform your conversations and boost your overall language skills. Stay tuned for some practical, easy-to-follow insights that can help you speak up and shine in English.
First, let's start with setting clear daily vocabulary goals. One simple approach is to aim for 5 to 10 new words each day, a small, manageable target that fits right into your routine. Breaking your learning into these bite-sized pieces makes it much easier to remember and use new words, eventually boosting your confidence in speaking English. By creating daily vocabulary goals, you're building smart learning habits that can seamlessly blend with your busy schedule, whether you're reading a quick article during a break or jotting down words in a notebook at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Setting these daily goals makes learning feel like a natural part of your day rather than a chore. It's all about consistency. Find a time that works best for you and stick to it. When you set realistic targets, you're not overwhelmed by too much information at once. Instead, you slowly build your vocabulary in a way that feels relaxed and enjoyable. This steady, practical approach not only helps you learn new words smartly, but also reinforces what you already know, turning each day into a step forward in your language journey.
And the beauty of this method is its flexibility. You can always adjust your goals to match your pace. It's like adding a few new pieces to your puzzle every day until the picture becomes clear. By keeping your word learning targets realistic, you'll see natural progress without feeling burdened by lengthy lists. These daily vocabulary goals are a great way to adopt smart learning habits that become second nature over time. Plus, a little effort every day goes a long way in making you more comfortable using these words in real conversations.
Exactly. The key is to make your learning routine feel effortless and fun. As you continue setting and meeting your daily vocabulary goals, you'll notice that the new words start to feel like old friends, always there to help you express your thoughts clearly. This practical habit not only expands your vocabulary, but also builds a solid foundation for confident communication. Remember, it's all about small, steady steps that lead to lasting improvement. Enjoy the process, and soon you'll see how these smart learning habits transform your ability to speak English naturally.
Now that we've talked about setting daily vocabulary goals, let's dive into building a personalized study routine. I know how busy life can get. Balancing work, family, and personal time isn't always easy. One thing that really helped me was finding small pockets of time, like during my morning coffee or while waiting for a bus, to review a few new words. This practice of consistent word learning doesn't have to be long or complicated. It's about fitting a little study session into moments that already belong to your day, creating a study plan that's truly tailored to your life.
Exactly, and I want to share a bit of what has worked for me too. Even on hectic days, taking just a few minutes, like while making breakfast or during a short break, can really add up over time. When you build a routine that feels natural and personal, learning new words becomes less of a chore and more of a little daily habit you enjoy. Keeping your study plan flexible helps avoid overwhelm, and it allows you to adjust to whatever your day brings while still maintaining your focus on consistent word learning.
One strategy I found really effective was setting a small target for myself each day, like reviewing or learning 5 new words. Some days, if I had extra time or felt more energetic, I would add a quick quiz or jot down a sentence using those words. This flexible approach keeps things interesting and prevents your study routine from becoming monotonous. What matters most is that your personalized study plan adapts to your mood and energy, which makes it easier to stick with it long term.
I completely agree. A key part of creating a personalized study routine is understanding your own patterns. For me, I enjoy switching up my methods. Sometimes I write words in a journal. Other times I use a language app that offers interactive exercises. This variety not only keeps me engaged, but also helps reinforce the new vocabulary in different contexts. It's about finding the blend of strategies that fits your daily life and feels right for you without any pressure to do everything perfectly.
And another benefit of having a personalized study plan is that it honors your personal rhythm. There have been days when my energy levels were lower, and I knew that even a few minutes of review would be enough to keep my vocabulary growing. Keeping the routine light yet consistent makes the learning process stress-free and effective. The goal is to build smart learning habits that enhance your English skills over time without adding extra stress to your already busy schedule.
Absolutely, it's all about taking small steps and making the process enjoyable. When your study routine feels natural, you're more likely to stick with it and see progress. Every bit of time spent on word study enriches your vocabulary and boosts your confidence. By personalizing your learning method to fit your day, you create a sustainable habit that grows with you, turning daily word practice into a rewarding part of your life.
Now that we're settling into our study routines, let's talk about using flashcards and spaced repetition effectively. One of the best methods I've come across is the flashcard technique. Whether you're writing cards by hand or using a digital tool like Anki, flashcards help you review words in bite-sized amounts. Incorporating spaced repetition into your routine means you'll revisit these cards at set intervals, so the new vocabulary really sticks. This approach makes each review session feel manageable and reinforces your long-term retention.
I totally agree. What really works for me is setting aside a few minutes each day to go through my flashcards, whether on paper or on my phone. The combination of flashcards and spaced repetition takes advantage of natural memory patterns, ensuring that words aren't forgotten. It's a strategy that fits right into everyday life. Whether during a lunch break or before bed, reviewing a few cards can make a big difference over time. The focus is on creating a habit that's simple yet effective for deep learning.
One personal tip that I've found useful is mixing up the types of flashcards. Sometimes I jot down words with their meanings on one side and examples on the other. Other times, I just use quick digital notes. This variation not only keeps the study sessions interesting, but also ensures that I'm exposed to the words in different ways. Using spaced repetition helps in scheduling these reviews, so that each new word gets enough time to settle in my memory, reducing the risk of forgetting key vocabulary.
Exactly. Keeping things diverse is key to effective learning. For instance, on some days, I'll focus on reviewing the meanings of my flashcards, and on others, I'll test myself on using the words and sentences. This dynamic approach turns flashcard practice into an engaging activity rather than a repetitive drill. By leveraging the spaced repetition method, I know that I'm not just cramming words, but truly integrating them into my language skills. It's all about finding the rhythm that works for you and staying committed to that process.
What's great about using the flashcard technique along with spaced repetition is its adaptability. Even on a busy day, a quick set of cards can fit neatly into your schedule and provide a consistent boost to your vocabulary. This method really emphasizes quality over quantity. It's better to have a few words well known than many words half remembered. The key is making these small review sessions a part of your daily routine so that over time, your vocabulary grows steadily and reliably.
Absolutely. Consistency is the foundation here. Each flashcard review session reinforces the words and helps you see progress in your language skills, making the learning journey enjoyable and effective. Whether you're using handwritten cards or a trusted app, the blend of flashcards and spaced repetition supports your long-term memory, paving the way for truly natural communication. By sticking with this method, you'll find that learning new words becomes an integral, rewarding part of your everyday routine.
Now that we've talked about our study routines and methods like flashcards, let's move on to learning words in context. One of the most powerful ways to build your vocabulary is by seeing words used in real sentences. Instead of memorizing isolated words, try reading simple stories or short articles. This method of context-based learning not only shows you the meaning of a word, but also how it naturally fits into everyday conversation. When you see real-life vocabulary being used, it's easier to understand and remember, making your language practice feel much more organic.
That's right, and I've found that watching short English clips or even tuning into a quick news snippet can make a huge difference. When you hear words used in context, you get a sense of tone, emotion, and usage that a dictionary can't provide. For me, reading a story or a simple blog post is like having a conversation with the language. It helps to see how native speakers put words together and express ideas. This exposure to real-life vocabulary makes it much easier to incorporate new words into your daily speech.
Another tip is to keep a small notebook or digital note where you jot down examples of how new words are used around you, maybe from a conversation, a movie, or even a social media post. When you review these notes later, you're not just recalling a word. You're recalling how and when to use it in a natural setting. This active reinforcement through context-based learning creates clear connections in your mind. It transforms vocabulary study into a meaningful activity rather than a passive exercise, so each word feels like it has a place in your everyday language.
Exactly, and what I love about this approach is that it turns learning into a part of your daily routine. Instead of treating vocabulary as an isolated subject, it becomes intertwined with everything else you do. You can take note of a cool phrase while watching an English video, or see a new word in a newspaper headline and look up how it's used. With real-life vocabulary examples, you get a richer, more intuitive understanding of the language, which really boosts your confidence when you speak.
A great way to ensure you're practicing context-based learning is to mix up your sources. One day you might choose to read a short story, the next day you might watch a clip from your favorite English TV show or listen to a podcast. This variety not only keeps the learning process engaging, but also exposes you to different contexts and styles of speaking. Each source offers a unique glimpse into how words are used naturally, helping you to build a more flexible and adaptable vocabulary.
I completely agree. Switching between different types of content makes all the difference. Whether you're diving into a simple narrative, watching a practical news story, or even browsing an article online, every encounter with new words in real situations helps you learn smarter. The key is to enjoy these moments and let them integrate smoothly into your language journey. With this approach, your vocabulary isn't just a list of words, it's a living, breathing part of your everyday communication.
Now that we've explored learning through context, let's talk about something super helpful: leveraging modern tools and apps. These days, we're lucky to have access to so many language apps right in our pockets. Tools like Duolingo, Anki, or Quizlet can make learning feel more like a fun game than a study session. These digital vocabulary tools are designed to keep you engaged, offering smart ways to practice new words, test yourself, and even track your progress. They're perfect for busy people who want to learn on the go, without needing to sit down for hours.
Totally. One of my favorites is using apps that give you instant feedback. You try a quick quiz and the app immediately shows if you're right or wrong. It's simple, but it works. These language apps are especially helpful because they adapt to your level and keep things personalized. You can focus on the words you struggle with most and even get pronunciation help, which is super useful. It turns smart word learning into something you actually look forward to, and you don't need anything fancy, just your phone in a few minutes.
What I love is that many of these apps also let you create your own word lists or decks. For example, if you come across a new word while reading or watching something, you can quickly add it to your app and review it later. These digital vocabulary tools keep everything in one place, so you don't lose track of what you're learning. And since many apps use spaced repetition, they show you words right when you're about to forget them, which is a super smart way to make sure those words stay with you.
Yes, and another great thing is that most of these tools are really user-friendly. You don't need to be tech-savvy to use them. Whether you're practicing vocabulary, doing short grammar games, or just reviewing flashcards during your tea break, These apps fit right into your routine. I often use mine during my commute or while waiting in line. It's such an easy way to stay consistent with your learning, and the best part is, you always feel like you're making progress, even with just a few minutes a day.
Now that we've explored some awesome tools and apps, let's focus on something even more powerful: practicing through active use. Honestly, learning new words is just the first step. The real magic happens when you start using those words in your daily life. This is called active vocabulary practice. Try slipping new words into casual conversations with friends, or even when texting. It might feel strange at first, but the more you use them, the more natural they become. This habit not only builds confidence, but helps you own those words instead of just recognizing them.
Exactly. I remember when I started learning new words, I used to write short paragraphs or journal entries using them. Even just 5 lines a day helped a lot. Real conversation practice doesn't always mean speaking with someone. Sometimes writing your thoughts in English is just as effective. You can even talk to yourself while doing daily tasks, like describing what you're doing in English. It may sound funny, but it's an amazing way to get comfortable using your new vocabulary without pressure.
One simple trick I follow is choosing 1 or 2 words every day and making sure I use them. For example, if today's word is curious, I might say, "I'm curious about this movie," during a conversation. These little efforts are what make your vocabulary active. You're not just learning, you're living the language. And when you use words in real conversation practice, they stick in your memory way better than just reading or hearing them.
And you don't need to wait for a perfect situation to try new words. Use them when chatting with friends who are also learning English, or even in WhatsApp groups. If you're into social media, write short posts or comments using your new vocabulary. These small steps add up and become part of your routine. Active vocabulary practice is all about being bold enough to try and consistent enough to keep going. The more you use your words, the more natural and fluent you'll sound.
Finally, let's talk about something that really keeps your learning journey moving forward: tracking progress and adjusting strategies. It's so important to check in with yourself regularly. One thing I do is take a short vocabulary quiz at the end of each week. Just 5 to 10 words I've learned during the week, and I test myself to see how well I remember them. This kind of vocabulary self-assessment helps you stay honest about what's working and what's not. Plus, it's super satisfying to see how much you've grown, even in just a few days.
I totally agree. For me, keeping a small journal to note down the words I've learned and how I've used them really helps. Sometimes I realize I haven't used a word in a few days, so I make it a point to include it in a conversation or message. This kind of progress tracking keeps you focused. And if a method doesn't feel right, like maybe flashcards are getting boring, I just switch things up. The key is to stay flexible and open to change, because learning isn't one size fits all.
Exactly, and this is where smart learning really shows up. You're not just following a routine blindly, you're constantly adjusting, improving, and personalizing it. Maybe one week you're more into podcasts, the next week you prefer reading articles. That's totally fine. As long as you're checking in and making those small changes, your progress keeps building. And with consistent vocabulary self-assessment, you stay in control of your own growth.
Right, and at the end of the day, this journey is yours. No matter where you start, the point is to keep moving step by step. Your tools, your pace, your methods, all should feel natural and right for you. Whether it's through progress tracking, changing your study style, or just staying aware of what helps you remember better. The smart way is the flexible way.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. We've shared some really practical tips on how to learn new words smartly, from setting goals and building routines to using apps, practicing actively, and tracking your progress.
We hope this chat gave you clear steps to make vocabulary learning part of your life in a fun and easy way. Keep showing up, keep trying, and remember, it's all about consistent, smart learning habits.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Speak Up. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode with your learning buddies, and stay tuned. There's more real, helpful English coming your way. See you next time, and until then, keep speaking up.